So Reed's hot air balloon is 750 meters directly above a highway. So here's his air balloon, and it's 750 meters directly above the highway. Here's the highway. Okay, continue. So he's in the hot air balloon, right? When he's looking west, okay, remember, never eat shredded wheat. When he's looking west, the angle of depression, so looking down, is 75 degrees to exit 85, which is over here. Okay? Okay, good. So exit 83, which is over here, is 2 kilometers east of exit 85. So this is exit 85 right here, and this is exit 83. So the total distance from here to here is 2 kilometers. We need to figure out the angle of depression to exit 83. So they've indicated here in the diagram, we want to know what this angle is here to exit 83, the angle of depression. Let's break this up into 2 little triangles. So I'm going to draw this triangle here. Okay, so let's just draw that. And then we have the second triangle, which is this one. Let's just separate these for a minute. Okay? Now let's label what we know from both of these triangles. We do know the height of the triangles are 750 meters. This is 750 meters as well. Is there anything else that we know? We also have the full triangle, the one that's made up of these 2 little ones. So let's draw that as well, because this is an acute triangle, right? What part of this acute triangle can we label? Do we know the bottom, right? Now, these measurements are given in meters, and this one was given in kilometers. So let's make all the units the same. How many meters is 2 kilometers? 2,000 meters. Okay, so let's do this. If you look here, we have a line here, and then we have a line underneath that's parallel to that. If you remember from grade 9, if angles they form a Z pattern, okay, so if this is 75 degrees, they're alternating angles. What would this angle be? This would also be 75, which is part of the pink triangle, correct? This is 75 degrees because the angle that's alternate to that is also 75 degrees, which means that this here, look here, the big triangle is also 75 degrees. Let's look at the part of the question that we need to solve. So if you look here, we want to find this angle here. We know that this angle is 75. If we figure out this angle, look here, this one, which is part of the blue triangle or the large triangle, we can figure out what this missing angle is, because what should all 3 of these angles add up to? 180, okay? So we're kind of working backwards here. We want to figure out this angle, which is inside the large triangle. That way we can subtract 75 and the missing angle to get the angle of depression. In order to find this missing angle, can we solve this right now if we're just given one angle and one side length? We can? Just given one angle and a side length. If I knew this side, let's call it A. If I have 2 side lengths and an angle in between, what law could we use to solve that? Cosine law, right? This side length A is the same as which side length, which triangle? The pink one or the blue one?
The blue one.
It's right here, look.
No, it's not.
The pink one, so this, A. This is a right angle triangle. What can you use to solve a right angle triangle? If you're given an angle and a side length, and it's right angle, we can use SOHCAHTOA because it's a right angle triangle, and we're given at least one angle and one side length. So let's label this. 750 is opposite angle 75 degrees, and A would be what? The adjacent or hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. Okay, so we're working with opposite and hypotenuse. Which ratio are we going to use? So sine 75 is equal to opposite, which is 750, over hypotenuse. Cross multiply. You guys tell me what you get. What is A equal to? A is equal to 776. We'll round to 2 decimal places. Actually, we'll just leave it at that. 776 meters. Good. Okay, so that is this part of the triangle, which is also here, right? So this is 776 meters. The goal was to find this angle. Why again? Why did we want to find that angle? This one? How will that help us? This angle, why would that help us figure out the missing angle? Because we can add them together and subtract from 180. Good. So our goal right now is to figure out this angle here. How can we find that angle? Can we find that angle right now using cosine law? No, we can't. Can we find it using sine law? No, we can't. Why? We're missing a side length. So what do you think we're going to have to do now? We need to figure out what this side length is before we can get to that angle. So let's call this C. Okay, I'm going to call this C. Let's call this A. And let's call this B. So this is B. Let's find out missing side length C. Once we find the missing side length, we can actually figure out the missing angle using sine law or cosine law. Okay, so let's find C. So I'm going to go back and label it in the original diagram. It's 1,949 meters. So now look at this triangle. We have this side length, this side length, this side length, and an angle. We want to know the missing angle. Do we have to use cosine law to solve for the missing angle? Do we have a complete ratio, an angle and its opposite side length? So let's use sine law just to practice both laws. Okay, so sine law, it would be opposite side length, so 1949 over sine 75 is equal to 2,000 over sine B, because this is the angle we want to find, and that's the side that's opposite that. So I want you to solve for angle B now. Okay, this angle here is 82 degrees. 82 degrees. So we have 75 degrees here, 82 degrees, but we wanted to know the angle of depression. So what's 75 plus 82? 75 plus 82 is 157 degrees. The whole thing has to add up to 180. So what is this angle of depression, which is what we needed to find? 180 minus 157 is 23?
Yeah.
23 degrees. So the angle of depression is 23 degrees. I'm going to use cosine law to solve for C. What was angle C again? 75. So C squared equals, what's cosine law? A squared plus B squared 2AB cos C. Okay, so let's plug in what's A was 776 plus 2,000 squared minus 2 times A, which is 776, times B, which is 2,000, times cos 75. So if you calculate this properly, you would get 1,949 meters approximately. So that's here, 1,949 meters.
Just that one section, that's why.
Meters. Okay. Okay, so cross multiply sine B times 1949 is equal to sine 75 times 2,000. And I apologize, there's something wrong with my iPad today. So we're gonna divide by 1,949, both sides. So you're gonna figure out what sine B is equal to. That will give you the ratio, and then I want to know the angle B. 0.9912 approximately. So what's the angle? We'll round it off to the nearest degree is approximately 82 degrees. Okay, so let's go back.